Good afternoon. My name is Nurse Mishra, and today I will teach you the topic writing paragraph or paragraph writing. Writing a paragraph or paragraph writing. Writing a paragraph. So before discussing writing a paragraph, at first we have to know some lines or some rules and regulations about how to write a paragraph and what are the steps that we have to adopt or accept while writing a very good paragraph. Just I am now reading out some lines regarding how to write a very good paragraph. Form and functions of a paragraph. These are the basic ideas and requirements that we have to know and we have to understand or we have to grasp or digest before writing a very good paragraph. Form and functions of a paragraph. A paragraph is a combination of sentences, as a sentence is a combination of words. Now, just I am writing some lines about that. This is just the definition of paragraph. If anyone will ask you define paragraph or what do you mean by paragraph, then you have to use these words and expressions or you have to use these lines in order to make him or her understand. So a paragraph is a combination of sentences. Combination means just we add or use some sentences, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever the numbers may be. So, a combination of sentences, as a sentence is a combination of words. As you know that whenever we are asked to write a sentence, we just put or place or use some words one after another orderly, systematically to make a meaningful and complete sentence. However, all combinations do not make a paragraph. All the combinations, all the use of words and expressions do not make a sentence, make a paragraph or a sentence. Let us see the following sentences. So, now will be clear if you just take note of some examples, or some, because examples sometimes make us clear. So, now we have to note down some or take note of some examples, then after we have to be very, very clear what is a paragraph, whether this paragraph is grammatically correct or not. Mani asked the teacher a question. The Mani So, now just I wrote two sentences here on blackboard. You just think and judge which one is correct and which one is incorrect, or which one is wrong and which one is right. Mani asked the teacher a question. A question the Mani teacher asked. The first sentence is a well formed sentence, means this sentence is a well formed sentence, because here just we have used or placed the words one after another in a meaningful way. Here just we have used the words systematically, orderly, to make it a meaningful or useful sentence. So, here the first sentence is a well formed sentence, whereas the second is not. You see, Mani asked the teacher a question, is it a meaningful sentence or not? Yes, it is a meaningful sentence, because here we have just used the words or placed the words one after another systematically, orderly. But here a question the Mani teacher asked, it is not a well formed sentence, because here we have not used the words one after another orderly, systematically, grammatically. That is called grammatically wrong. Ungrammatical sentence, that is grammatical sentence, means here just in the past sentence we follow certain rules and regulations that are required to make a complete or meaningful sentence, but here we do not follow certain rules and regulations. That is why the second sentence is wrong, means it is not a well formed sentence, because the first collection of words has a structure, it has a structure. It has a structure. Mani asked the teacher a question. It has a well formed structure, that is S plus V plus O plus O. SB double O, double object here we find. The first is subject, that is verb, and this is object, that is object. So, here we have two objects, direct and indirect. So, it has a the first collection of words has a structure, that is the words are in a particular order allowed by English grammar. So, far as English grammar is concerned, so as for English grammar, we have used these words systematically to make it a meaningful sentence. The second collection of words is just a string of words, simply just we have used the words, not systematically, orderly, disorderly, unsystematically, that is called ungrammatical. So, far as grammar is concerned, the second sentence is wrong, meaningless, we do not have any meaning. The question the Mani teacher asked. So, just here we have placed the words disorderly or systematically. That is why it is wrong, and the former is right and the latter is wrong. It has no order that would give the words a grammatical structure and make them part of the whole. It doesn't give us any grammatical structure, but here the past sentence gives us a very good grammatical structure. We follow some rules and regulations of the grammar, and accordingly we have used the words or one after another systematical. But here we have not followed the grammatical structure, and we have not also followed certain rules and regulations of the grammar to make it a meaningful sentence. That is why the second one is completely wholly wrong. Similarly, all collections of sentences may not form paragraphs. Similarly, all collection of sentences. So it's a sentence now. That is called the former, that is latter. The former one is 100% correct, and the latter is totally wrong, because here we follow certain rules and regulations of grammar. Here we do not follow certain rules and regulations of grammar. But here the exception is that similarly all collections of sentences may not form paragraphs. All collections of sentences. If we write the sentences, here we have used the words orderly, that is a meaningful sentence. But if we do not just present the sentences orderly, systematically, one after another, it cannot be called a complete or meaningful paragraph. For example, the following is not a paragraph. Now I am just writing. Now I am just writing a paragraph where the sentences are not in order. It is not a well formed sentences that we require, that we want. But again, we have to order these sentences to make it a meaningful paragraph. Means well formed sentences, one after another, first, then second, then third, then fourth, then fifth. In these ways, if we order or place the sentences correctly, grammatically or systematically, then it can be called as a complete paragraph. Good, flawless paragraph, good paragraph. Now just I am writing for your clear cut understanding. Just to now look at these lines or sentences, and we have kept all these sentences in a box, well formed box. But you see here we have 6 sentences. That is, 1 starts from here and ends, then 2 starts and ends here, 3, and then 4 starts and ends, 5 starts from here and ends here, then 6 last. So here we have 6 different types of sentences, and we have kept all these expressions or sentences in a box. But you see here, as per our former discussion, all the sentences, all the collection of sentences may not form paragraph. For example, the following is not a paragraph. This is not a paragraph, though here I have presented here or written here 6 different types of sentences. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, but these sentences are not paragraphs or cannot be called a paragraph. Following sentence is not a paragraph, because if you rearrange the sentences in the sequence 4 to 1, 6, 5, 3, 4 to 1, 6, 5, 3, okay. So you see now, these first sentences that have been kept in a box is not a paragraph, because here we have not logically proved or placed the sentences one after another or kept the sentences orderly, systematically. That is why it cannot be called a paragraph. But here, if you just unscramble or change the sentences logically, means in these ways, 4 to 1, 6, 5, 3, 4 to 1, 6, 5, 3. At first we have to write this 4, sentence number 4, sentence number 4 means butterflies are the most beautiful of insects. Then 2, that is like most butterflies have large wings, often with brilliant color and striking patterns. Then 1, the wings are covered with minute scales. Then 6, if you handle a butterfly or a moth, a certain amount of dust comes off the wings. Then 5, the dust is in fact thousands of the scales. And the last one, 3, that is zoologists classify butterflies and moths in the order Lepidoptera. So in these ways, if we just arrange or present or place the sentences, then it can be called a paragraph without any flaws. But here the first sentences that have been kept in a box is not a paragraph, because here we have not placed the sentences logically and meaningfully. Wrong. So in these ways we have to write, that is rearrange. We have to rearrange the sentences 4 to 1, 6, 5, 3, 4 to 1, 6, 5, 3. At first step write sentence number 4, then sentence number 2, then sentence number 1, then sentence number 6, then sentence number 5, then last sentence number 3. In these ways, if we just write these sentences, then it can be called a paragraph. We will get a paragraph on the physical, proper paragraph on the physical description of a butterfly. So now you better understand what is paragraph and how can we write paragraph and how can the sentences be called a good paragraph if the sentences are not kept or placed logically, orderly, systematically, it cannot be called a paragraph. As you said from now, from this presentation here, the sentences that have been kept in a box cannot be called a paragraph because all these sentences are not in order or have not kept logically. So, here if you just keep these sentences in these ways 4, 2 and 6, 5, 3 orderly, systematically, then it can be called as a paragraph. Thus, we see that a paragraph must have order and unity, that the very first and foremost format of a paragraph, that must have order and unity, orderly, systematically. Simply we know how to write correct sentences one after another, but if you just fail to present these sentences orderly or in sequence, it cannot be called a paragraph. So, we have to order or place the sentences in sequence one after another in order to make it a correct or meaningful paragraph. So, it must contain order and unity, must have order and unity, but before we study these terms in detail, we must recognize a paragraph. Now, glance quickly at the two passages given in the following boxes and say which of the looks are convenient to read. As earlier I told, these sentences cannot be called a paragraph, but here if we just rearrange as per these numbers 4, 2 and 6, 5, 3, then it can be called as a paragraph. So, now better understand what is paragraph and how can we write better paragraph. So, here these sentences cannot be called a paragraph because the sentences have not been placed orderly, but here if you present these sentences as for these numbers or these numbers 4, 2 and 6, 5, 3, then it can be called a paragraph. So, now there are different types of paragraphs. Actually, there are different types of paragraphs. Different types of paragraphs. Different types of paragraphs. First, paragraph describing people. Paragraph describing people. Suppose write a paragraph on your mother, write a paragraph on your father, write a paragraph on your film actor, or favorite cricket star, or a favorite friend, or your write a paragraph on your favorite class teacher, or your favorite singer, so on and so forth. So all these are coming under how to describe a people. So how can I write, or how can I start and end this paragraph as you know. So appropriate placement or use of sentences that we have to do while writing a very good paragraph. Logically, well formed sentences, one after another, that we have to set to make a meaningful paragraph. The following areas must be kept in mind while writing a paragraph describing people. While writing a paragraph okay. So we have to remember certain points, or we have to know or take note of certain points in order to write paragraphs on certain people. When we are asked to write a paragraph on any people, we have to remember these points. A, physical appearance. B, intellectual qualities. C, emotional and moral qualities. So these 3 points that we have to keep in our mind in order to write or when we are asked to write a paragraph on people. That is, as first is physical appearance. So what is physical appearance? Under physical appearance is coming certain words, that is height, build, complexion, facial features, dress. Then intellectual qualities, intelligent, imaginative, creative, then emotional and moral qualities, trustworthy, confident, warm, sincere, selfish, cruel, patient, tolerant. So you see now, if you are asked to write a very good paragraph on any people, so you have to take these points into account, into consideration. And at first, the first point is physical appearance. So what is physical appearance? How can you describe? How can you just add, or what type of words and expressions that do you need to expand that particular point, physical appearance? So in physical appearance, we have to just use these words: height, build, complexion, facial features and dress. Height, how much height? Build, what type of build, whether good build or bad build. Complexion, the entire physical that's characteristics or features, facial expression and dress. Suppose you are writing a paragraph on your mother, on your father, on your best friend, on that's the your favorite film actor or favorite cricketer. So you have to take note of these words whenever you are expanding that particular point, physical appearance. Then it's coming your intellectual quality. So which words are coming under intellectual qualities? Intelligent, imaginative, creative. How far is whether he is intelligent or not. Suppose your best friend, whether he is intelligent or not, whether he is imaginative or not, whether he is creative or not. That you have just to add some 1 to 3 lines. Just you have to write some lines about these qualities. They are called intellectual qualities. Then third point is coming emotional and moral qualities. So which words are coming under this emotional and moral qualities? The trustworthy, whether it is trustworthy or not. Confident, whether it is confident or not. Warm or not, sincere or not, selfish or not, cruel or not, patient or not, tolerant or not. These are the qualities, words coming under point number 3, that is emotional and moral quality. So if you are asked to write a very good paragraph on any people that you like, you have to take note of these 3 points and you have to just add these words in these 3 points. In physical appearance, we have to write these words, and in intellectual qualities, we have to use these words, and in emotional and moral qualities, we have to use these words to just make a meaningful and flawless paragraph. So far as paragraph on people is concerned. Then that's your coming paragraph describing places. Paragraph describing places. Paragraph describing places. At first you knew paragraph describing people, now to know paragraph describing places, in different places. So also here we have to know certain points to write a paragraph on persons, places. So while writing paragraph describing places, you have to just retain or keep certain points in your mind. Then after you have to expand these lines one after another systematically, orderly. So what are these points? 1, where is the place? 2, what do you see? 3, what do you hear? 4, what do you smell? 5, what do you feel? 6, what time of day are you observing? 'So, these are the points that we have to remember or keep in your mind to write a paragraph describing places. If you are asked to write a paragraph, take for an instance, your house. Your house, or that's the school common room, or your house, a flat in Avani, old aunt's house, a holy place you visited. These are the paragraphs on places. Then we have to just think of these points, and then after we have to write some words whenever we are expanding these points, at least 2 to 3 lines. So, where is the place? Suppose your house or your college common room, or a holy place you visited. Where is the place? Then what do you see? What do you see? Just after reaching that place, what do you find? What do you see there? Means the persons that you come in contact. So, whenever you reach that spot, reach that place, at first what is the name of that place, and what do you see there after reaching? What do you find? Suppose you came in contact with many persons and exchanged your thoughts, feelings, ideas, sentiments, everything, so on and so forth. These are called what you see, coming in contact with the so-called strangers reaching this place. Then what do you hear about this place? Suppose that you went to Kedarnath place. So, what just after reaching there or coming in contact with so many persons, strangers, what do you know? What do they say about the importance of that place? That also here we have to add. What do you hear? Then what do you smell? What type of people are there? How do they express their feelings? In which manner? Whether in a cordial or and something in a way quite unacceptable. What do you feel? Just after reaching, after coming in contact with, after understanding, after knowing, after smelling, after hearing, after seeing, what do you feel? Whatever feeling that is coming to you at present. And what time of day are you observing? What time of day? Whether in the morning time or midday time or evening time or afternoon time or night time. What time of day are you observing? Are you just moving around or deriving pleasure going here and there? So, to write a better paragraph on places, we have to retain or take note of these points, and systematically also you have to expand these points, at least writing 2 to 3 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then that is all about paragraphs on writing places. Then describing objects, paragraphs describing objects. Paragraphs describing objects, objects, you know, objects. So, certain points that here also we have to take note of or retain while writing paragraphs on objects. Now, questions from your side: what type of objects? Let's write a paragraph on computer, write a paragraph on mobile phone, write a paragraph on camera, write a paragraph on washing machine, write a paragraph on pressure cooker, write a paragraph on an ATM. So, that objects that sometimes also you have to face this type of objects in your coming or ensuing examination, and appropriately you have to present certain sentences. As you know, all these sentences cannot be called a paragraph unless until it is placed systematically, orderly, one after another. So, also here we have to know certain points, and by using these points you can just find out a very good meaningful and proper paragraph if you use or place these sentences logically, systematically. And paragraphs describing objects. So, that is what are the lines that you have to, points that you have to remember or add in order to write a very good paragraph on object. First, title, one title. So, now see that here we are describing paragraph on objects. If you are asked to write paragraphs on any objects, take for instance paragraph on camera, paragraph on mobile phone, paragraph on your washing machine, paragraph on your pressure cooker, and how can you expand or write this paragraph flawlessly. That these are the points to be to be remembered by you to write a very good paragraph. One title. Title also is known as caption. Caption. Or that is called the topic sentence. Caption. In 2 to 3 words or 3 to 4 words. Suppose a pressure cooker, 3 words. The mobile phones, 3 words. That's a washing machine, 3 words. This is called caption or title or topic sentence. Then external features of that object. Then smaller details. Then work or function. How does it work or function? What type of things that do you find in all these objects? Take for an instance, that's a mobile. How does it work, or what type of that's things that you are getting inside it. How do you use it, in how many ways? Then how is it used? How is it used? Suppose the user, whenever using, how does he or she use? In which ways? Who uses it? Who uses? The person who uses. And specific, accurate and concrete details must be given to elaborate the topic sentence. Topics, that is called the caption or the title, that we usually find whenever we just go to read the newspapers. On the top we find the caption or the title, that is called the topic sentence in 4 to 5 words. So, in this way we have to find the specific, accurate and concrete details, the exact, not unnecessary or relevant or meaningless, meaningful and exact, to the point, 2 to 3 words that we have to choose just for title or topic sentence, the 2 are same. Then in these ways you have to expand these lines to write paragraphs on objects. Then paragraphs on events. Paragraph describing events. Events. One, blood donation camp. Two, annual day. The and price distribution function. In paragraphs describing incidents. Describing incidents. What incidents? One, a train accident. Picnic to chain snatching incident. Chain snatching. Incident. Then paragraph plus then paragraphs describing process, describing process process one getting boss pass made applying for admission AMISSI admission in a college. Okay, this one type here. So, students might have understood what is paragraph. Revenue likes to define paragraph, or what is the meaning of paragraph. How can you write a paragraph, a very good paragraph. So now you knew many rules and regulations regarding how to write a very good, meaningful paragraph. That's all. Well.